Hey guys, welcome back to my channel if you guys are new here. Hi, my name is Sydney. Today's video is going to be all about brands that I want to try in 2020. I think it was Karen Harris do this video. I feel like I've seen a couple other people. Oh, I saw Samantha March do this video and I thought it was so much fun. I thought it would be fun to share the brands that I want to try on my channel. And I also thought it would be really fun to hear in the comments what your brands are to try in 2020. If you guys are curious about this eye look, I did film it as part of my Alma review, so I will link that down below if you guys are curious. I went really into depth with this palette, so if Amy Hearts Beauty is a brand that you guys want to try this year, check out my review video. I'll link it down below. But without further ado, let's hop into it. Alright you guys, I do have quite a few brands, so I'm kind of just going to whip through these. The first brand that's at the very top of my list, and the first one that I immediately thought of, was Melt Cosmetics. So Melt has been on my radar for probably a good 2 years at this point, pretty much ever since they released the Gemini palette. I really was not interested in the stacks at all. I just thought they were super expensive and I didn't particularly feel excited to have my eyeshadow in a stack. I don't know, it just didn't really appeal to me. But when the Gemini palette came out and everyone kind of died over it, I was like, maybe I need to give Melt a second look. I didn't buy that palette, though I've been tempted to many times. I didn't buy the Smoke Sessions palette or the Radioactive palette. I have not yet bought the Melt Vita and Muerte palettes. Those are the palettes from the Amor Eternal collection, but I'm probably going to, you guys. They are absolutely stunning. I actually did a Shop My Stash for Dupes video on that entire collection, the eyeliners, the lippies, all of it. And I feel pretty satisfied with most of the dupes that I came up with, but something inside me is just screaming for those palettes, you guys. And I don't just want one of them, I want both. Like, there's no in between for me. The Muerte palette is totally unlike anything I have in my collection. Those tones paired together, like those tones by themselves and even paired together, it's just totally unique to my collection. I'm really dying to try the Melt formula. And then the Vita palette, I feel like it's definitely a little bit more dupable with my own collection, but I really want to just be a completionist and get both. If I only had to get one, if I could only get one, probably get the Muerte palette, but I'm really wanting both. So that is the first brand that I want to try and the products that I'm most looking forward to trying from them. Okay, so the next brand is Kristen Lee Cosmetics. So this is an indie brand. A lot of these brands on my list are indie brands because I'm just really new to the indie brand world and I really just want to try them all. But the thing that I really want to try from this brand are their glimmer gels. These gels are unlike any cream shadows I've ever seen. I'll insert pictures on the screen right here. They are just, oh my goodness, they're so pretty. I can't even pick like a shade, like there's like 5 shades that I really want right now. The first one is the shade Anticipation, and this is described as a beautiful bronze to gold to green to blue to brown to slightly violet shift. So these are gorgeous like multi-chromy gels. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty, you guys. Oh, I'm dying. Okay, then the next one that I really want is called Epiphany. It's a beautiful pinkish rose gold dual chrome with a slight peachy coral hues. Again, just gorgeous. And then the last one that's really just like screaming my name is called Attitude Adjustment. It's a purple to pink to orange to gold with a slightly green shift to it. These are just incredible, you guys. They look like they're pretty smooth. They don't look like they have giant chunks of glitter in them, just some shimmer. So those are definitely on my wish list. They're the very top thing that I want to try from Kristen Lee Cosmetics. So the next brand on my to try list is Davina. So I actually do have one Davina shadow in my collection, but I didn't really pick it out. I just was gifted some singles from my friend on Instagram. So I feel like I haven't tried Davina, at least that's the way I see it. Davina, I really just want to try like a lot of their single shadows. I feel like for some of the brands with single shadows, it's really hard for me to say what I want to try because like I just want to try their singles and there's so many to choose from. But 3 shades from Davina that have really caught my eye lately are 3 of their new shades. They're currently closed right now because I believe their shop is moving, but they have been teasing 3 new shades that they're going to release as soon as the shop reopens. The first one is this gorgeous mauve with like this gold shimmer throughout it. The next one is a beautiful like shifting green. It goes from like a deep jade emerald green to like an olive green. That is so far up my alley, I can't even tell you guys. And then finally there's this beautiful blue that has like pink and green reflex in it, and I'm just drooling over here. It is so gorgeous, you guys. I've heard nothing but amazing things about Davina's quality, and I think they have a lot of really gorgeous unique shades. And with any of the brands that I'm mentioning, if you guys have favorite shades of the product that I'm mentioning or even other products from the brand, leaving them down below. I would love to know your recommendations. Okay, next brand is again kind of the same situation, like I just want it all, and that brand is Touch of Glam. I believe their Vivids collection was the one that I feel like a lot of my Instagram friends bought last year, and I think a couple of those shadows from there are incredibly gorgeous. I think I'm just gonna insert like their Instagram feed right here because there are so many beautiful shadows, and I want to try them all, you guys. They're so gorgeous. If I had to pick just a couple shades, the shade Santa Sleigh is one that really caught my attention. I think this was a Christmas shade, so I don't know if it's around anymore, but if it is, I'm gonna snag that one. Another shade that really caught my attention was a multi-shifter is what they called, so I wonder if they're like half multi-chrome, half duochrome. That doesn't make any sense. It's fine. But this one's called Love Me Not, and this is like a warm tone lover's dream, you guys. I love this shadow so much. And then the final one is called Nudie Branch, I think. It's like a icy foresty green. I don't know how I would describe that. I think it's just absolutely stunning though. So that is Touch of Glam. Next brand on my to try list is Adept Cosmetics. So for a really long time, Adept was just known for their gigantic magnetic palettes, but over the past year, they came out with some shadows. You know what? Now that I'm talking, I think every single brand on this list I'm putting on this list for their eyeshadows. Can you tell where my makeup interest lies? But they recently started releasing eyeshadows, so part of me really wants one of their gigantic palettes, and I mean like gigantic palettes. Like you can fit so many shadows in this thing, because I think Hannah Louise Poston has one, and I was watching her organize her singles a couple months ago, and I'm like, I would love to have all my singles in one palette and then like pick them out and create color stories with them in my other palette. I think that's a little bit like the makeup psycho in me, because like I already have enough storage for my singles, but I'm sure you guys understand what I mean. If you love makeup, you're here on my channel. But again, I think some of their singles are absolutely gorgeous too. I'm mostly attracted to some of the mattes. The shimmers don't really excite me too much. I'll just pop some pictures up on the screen of ones that are really catching my attention. But Adept is definitely on my watch list for 2020. Okay, this is another one that's probably cheating, but I want to try NYC Salt. I think that's what they're called. Pretty sure that's what they're called. Cosmetics. Salt Cosmetics? That was totally wrong what I just said. It is Salt New York. So the next brand that I want to try that's also kind of cheating, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to place an order with them very soon, is Salt New York. So this is a brand that was really well known for their beautiful magnetic palettes. They're like wrapped in leather. They have this gorgeous zipper. They have a beautiful mirror. For a really long time, and I've always kind of admired them from afar. I'm like, oh, they're beautiful, but they're a little bit out of my price range. Last summer, they came out with their Creme Tint Pros, which are just their cream contour, blush, highlighter, bronzer pans, and I was so very close to placing an order, getting myself a whole palette full of those. I'm really into creams right now, and I feel like I'm really lacking like a contour tone, a bronzer tone, and a highlighter tone, so I was like, But I eventually talked myself out of it. It was just a little bit higher than what I wanted to pay, and at that time they only had bundle deals for 6 products, and I felt like that was just a little bit too many. I felt like after 4 I'm like, what else am I gonna buy? But they recently came out with a little mini palette, and they're offering a bundle right now. I think it retails for $40-ish, and you get 4 of the Creme Tint Pros, and you get a little baby mini palette, and I am so tempted to grab it, you guys. I think the palette is beautiful. I'd love to try the creme colors, and yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna buy that one. Next brand I'd love to try in 2020 is Give Me Glow Cosmetics, and the item that I would most want to try from them is the Vintage Rose palette, you guys. I've heard incredible things about Give Me Glow shadows for years, but I'm a little bit hesitant to buy their singles because they're gigantic. They are like the size of a blush through one of those, and it's kind of a pain to store, so that's kind of giving me pause when I think about buying their singles. But I would much rather buy a palette from them, because like even if the pans are that gigantic, like they're already stored a palette component. And out of their palettes, Vintage Rose is the one that really speaks to me the most. I think it has such a beautiful, unique color story. When it first came out, I was like, is that like really cohesive? But as I've seen more swatches and looks come out, I just think it's gorgeous, and I think it would really spark some creativity in my collection. Next up, we have Shroud Cosmetics. I have a couple things that I want from this brand. They have some beautiful singles collections that have really caught my eye over the past couple months, but the thing that has really drawn me back to the brand is the Arcana palette. So this palette is full of some really gorgeous jewel tones, and I just think it has such a fun color story. I think it would be a great introduction into the brand. I just feel like the Arcana palette has such a gorgeous, unique color story, and I feel like it's something that I would use all the time. It would just spark so much creativity in me. Okay, so the next brand that I want to try is Lux Beauty. So I feel like Lux Beauty was a brand that I was hearing a lot about like maybe a year ago, but now I'm not really hearing so much about them, but I am still very intrigued by their shadows. I feel like they're priced a little bit higher than some other indie brands, so maybe I'll just wait till there's like a sale. But I was scrolling through the Instagram page earlier today, and this one palette kept really catching my eye. I'm not sure if it's even available anymore, but it's called For the Love of Fall, and I drool over it, you guys. I think this color story is absolutely stunning. If I were to buy a palette today, I think that would be the one that I would buy from them, but I'm also open to buying some singles from them. Alright, you guys, next up we have Nomad Cosmetics. So I feel like this might be cheating because I'm pretty sure I'm going to place an order with them tonight, but I wanted to mention it anyways on the off chance that I don't actually go through and place it. But Nomad Cosmetics has been a brand that I've wanted to try for so long. Again, they're an indie brand, and the whole kind of theme of their brand is travel and destinations, and they create beautiful palettes based off destinations that they've gone to. I think the company's run by a husband and a wife, and they just go to these different destinations and they create beautiful palettes around it, and I love them. I really admire them for their business practices, and they have this really cool program. I think it's called the Starfish program. I could be wrong, but I think it's once a month. You can recommend your favorite influencers, your favorite Instagram accounts, your friends, and they will send you a box of Nomad goodies. I don't believe you get on the PR list from that, but I just thought that was such a cool way to kind of spread their products, and not only that, but spread positivity throughout this community. So I really do admire Nomad Cosmetics, but the item that is on the top of my list from them is the Tokyo palette. I want to say it's the Harajuku palette, but I feel like I'm butchering that. I'm sorry if I am. This palette is so much fun, you guys. It's full of pastels. It doesn't really have a lot of depth to it, but I feel like pastels is something that I'm lacking a little bit in my collection. And I feel like if I bought this palette, I would be less tempted to buy what I'm sure is going to be the stream of pastel palettes that ColourPop is going to continue to release until they do the rainbow again. But yeah, this one, I've been thinking about it for a really long time. They just launched 2 new little quads, and I really want those too, so we shall see if I actually end up picking those up. Alright, the next brand that's on my list to try is Copacetic Cosmetics. I think that's how you say it. I feel like I'm butchering that. This is also another small indie brand. All of their products are handmade and made in the US. And the product that really drew me into this brand to begin with is the Elysium palette, I want to say. I think that's how you say it. My friend on Instagram, Basket Case Beauty, designed this palette, and I just think the color story is absolutely stunning, you guys. She did such an amazing job. Pretty sure this palette retails for around $32, $32, $34. And I just think it's gorgeous. I feel like it has such a unique color story, and I would love to support another creator. I have kind of checked around on this brand's other shadows that they offer and things like that, and they have some really, really gorgeous products. So I think I'll definitely be placing an order with them in the near future. Next up is Midas Cosmetics. You guys guessed it, another indie brand. Midas Cosmetics has been on my radar for about 6 months, I would say. And I've been looking at their products, but nothing really has caught my eye until the Smoky Glow palette released. I believe Smoky Glow is a YouTuber. I know she has an Instagram, but I believe she's a YouTuber as well. I don't personally watch her videos, but I've watched a lot of the review videos or the announcement videos of this palette, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous, you guys. This is unlike anything I have in my collection. I feel like maybe if I looked really hard I could find some dupes, but I love how saturated and vibrant these tones are. I feel like it's a warm tone junkie's paradise, and I'm a warm tone junkie, so I feel like this will be a palette that I would super love on and super enjoy. So that one's definitely on my wish list, and definitely what I would purchase from Midas Cosmetics if I were to make a purchase today. Next up on my wish list is Kaleidos makeup. So Kaleidos makeup I feel like just really exploded in 2019. They've been on my radar probably about a year at this point, and they have some gorgeous palettes that when I was making this list I was like, I'm gonna put those on there for what I really want to try from the brand. But actually, as I was thinking, I'm like, you know what, they just came out with some really cool new lip products. They're called lip tonics, and I believe they're supposed to be kind of a blotted liquid lipstick type deal, and I absolutely love the idea of that so much. I do have one of the ColourPop ultra blotted lips, but these are supposed to be even better than that, so I'm like, may have to try that. They also have some incredibly gorgeous highlighters that I would probably add to my order if I did make one, but I think this is just a really cool brand that's going to come out with some really cool innovative products in 2020. My last two brands that I want to mention today are definitely more mainstream than the ones that I've been mentioning throughout this video, but the first one is Lunar Beauty. I know not everyone is Manny MUA's biggest fan. I feel kind of neutral about him, honestly. I'm more interested in the brand for the makeup than I am for him being the owner and the founder of this brand. And really the only, I mean, not the only reason, a couple of his palettes have drawn me in and I've been a little bit curious, but the biggest reason that I'm even putting this brand on my list is the Moonspell palette. I have drooled over this palette for so long, you guys. I did dupe it on my channel. I did a decent job duping it, I think, but part of the lure of this palette is the packaging and the formula. I've heard really good things about Lunar Beauty's formula, and I'd really love to test it out for myself. So if I were to make a purchase from them today, this would be what I would order. Finally, you guys, we are at the last brand that I want to try in 2020, and that is Makeup Geek. So when I was getting into makeup and like when I started watching YouTube videos and getting really into it, Makeup Geek was really big still. I feel like everyone was mentioning Makeup Geek. I watched countless Makeup Geek collection videos, top Makeup Geek shadows, all of that. But as I kind of got a little bit older and I started really buying my own makeup, like being able to buy makeup online or going into stores and purchasing it myself, I feel like Makeup Geek's popularity just kind of plummeted. So when they did their rebrand, I was like, you know what? I have never tried Makeup Geek. I'm kind of interested. I thought about purchasing one of the quads, but I think when they launched, I had like maxed out my budget or something, so I didn't end up purchasing one of the little quads that they showed, which a couple of those were really pretty. But in general, I would just really like to try some Makeup Geek shadows this year. I did create 2 custom palettes, and I'll insert those on the screen right here with their little custom palette maker. And I think if I were to order them, I would either order one of those or I would order one of the little quads. Marlena came up with some really gorgeous color combos. But yeah, Makeup Geek shadows in general are just on my list, kind of all of them, like all the other single shadow brands are. So that's gonna wrap this video up, you guys. I really hope it doesn't end up being too long. I feel like I've been talking here forever, but let me know down in the comments below what brands you want to try in 2020. I would absolutely love to know. I love finding new brands. I don't necessarily like go gaga and purchase a ton from every single new brand that I find, but I love just like knowing what's out there, and I love sharing your opinions. It's kind of my favorite part of doing this video. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. But the first brand that's at the very top of my list, if I can scooch over a little bit, that way if maybe you guys had some recommendations, we could chat back and forth in the comments, and I could buy some really cool stuff. Gosh, I did a terrible job introducing this video, guys. I'm going to talk about the brand, then I'm going to share a product that I want from the brand. These are, let me bring up my Instagram thing. NYC Salt, something like that. It'll be clear. Oh my goodness, we're breaking down, guys.